Year after year, auto manufacturers tease us all by creating these amazing concepts that feature some of the best technology and design features that exist at the time. Sadly, most of them never get to make it into production and as a result become forgotten. Today I'll be showing you guys 6 amazing concept cars we all wish made it into production. First car on the list is the Rebadged 16. I'm almost positive most of you have heard about this one, as it's received probably the most amount of controversy out of any concept car that's ever existed. Its insane design style that resembles a jet fighter with exhaust outlets that look like turbine engines. This car looks like it came right out of a comic book. But see, it's not the looks that have been causing lots of chatter within the automotive industry, but more so the performance Rebadged claims this hypercar can produce. Essentially, there are 2 road legal versions that would become available and one that would only be suitable for the drag strip. The 2 road legal ones include a single V8 engine, one producing 2,000 horsepower, and a dual V8 version producing 3,000 horsepower. If that didn't sound crazy enough that a new company with 0 track record is producing a car that doubles the power output of a Bugatti Chiron, well, wait until you hear about the performance that is pumped out of the 3rd variation. Supposedly, it comes equipped with a quad turbocharged 12.3 liter V16 that produces 3,757 pound-feet of torque, and listen to this, 5,007 horsepower. Now that's comical. Rebadged says that the 5,000 horsepower version can achieve 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds and would be able to reach a top speed of 347 miles per hour. Sure, going over 300 miles per hour sounded pretty sweet when they first mentioned they wanted the Rebadged 16 to be the first production car to achieve this amazing milestone. But see, there is one little tiny issue for the Rebadged. Bugatti passed 300 miles per hour just the other day, 304.77 miles per hour to be exact. Well, technically the Bugatti Chiron used was reported to be the upcoming Super Sport, one that is not a production car yet. Keyword, yet. So there goes that golden opportunity, one that had spectators excited for the Rebadged 16. Either way, there is little to no chance that the Rebadged 16 will actually reach production. Their entire hypercar idea seems far-fetched. The production date keeps getting delayed, and there are reports that the company is experiencing difficulties with 2 very important aspects of the car. First being cooling, which is an obvious one for such a powerful car. The company is having a hard time keeping the engine temperature down, not during high-speed runs, but during regular cruising speeds. And 2, they have been unable to keep the 16 on the floor during high speed runs, which is not something investors want to hear. What do you guys think? Does the Rebadged 16 make it into production or not? Second concept car on the list is the BMW M1 Homage. Based on BMW's one and only supercar, the M1, and of course the BMW Turbo concept that came before that. This is definitely one of my personal favorite concepts of all time, as it has a design that allows you to look into the past and the future at the same time. First displayed in 2008 as a celebration to the legendary M1's 30th birthday, this is a car many really wish had made production, and in a way it did, but it didn't. Lots of its design cues were used on the 2009 vision efficient dynamics concept, which ultimately led BMW to the i8. If you look at the BMW M1 Homage and the i8, you can definitely see some resemblance, especially when it comes to the narrow front end, aggressive lines, and the design of the rear taillights. Heck, it even sort of looks like BMW's latest project, the Vision M. That said, the i8 is not exactly what most of us wanted, but more so an actual BMW supercar. Sadly, BMW has made it clear in the past that it has no interest in making a limited supercar, as they really want to cater to the masses and reach as many people as possible. It sucks because I always told myself if I ever had the opportunity to own a supercar in the future, I would love it to be a BMW. I mean, Audi made it happen with the R8 and Mercedes with the AMG GTR, and those being BMW's closest competitors, you would think that BMW would fire back. Well, maybe in the future, you never know. Anyways, going back to the M1 Homage, it is truly a special car, one that looks stunning on photos and video, and if you ever want to see one in person, I believe the only one available is displayed at the BMW Museum in Munich. Third car is a Chrysler ME412. Out of all the concepts featured on this list, this one actually ended up being more than just a concept and a prototype that was built and was well on its way to become a production car, but the final approval sadly never came. Reported reasons suggest that the ME412 was just too expensive to develop, especially during the time when Chrysler had its hand filled trying to rebuild its brand. And before I get into the second reason, note that at the time, Chrysler was merged with Mercedes as Daimler Chrysler, which led to cars like the Chrysler Crossfire and this one. That said, the second reported reason the ME412 did not enter production was because it was faster than the Mercedes SLR McLaren, which was a big no-no for Mercedes' image at the time. The power plant the ME412 carried was an AMG that was apparently made for Chrysler, a quad turbocharged V12 engine that produces 850 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. As massive as this engine is, thermal performance was excellent under extreme conditions, and the car also featured a 7-speed dual wet clutch transmission, and since the overall curb weight of the the car was only around 2,800 pounds thanks to its carbon fiber and aluminum structure. Performance numbers were insane. 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds, 0 to 100 in just 6.2 seconds, and a quarter-mile run in just 10.6 seconds. Not only are those numbers insane based on today's standard, this was back in 2004. An interesting fact about its weight and power, it had a better power to weight ratio than the Bugatti Veyron, McLaren F1, and the Ferrari Enzo at 3.4 pounds per horsepower. 15 years later, the ME 412 has the modern looks and performance to compete with today's exotic cars. I'm sure nobody will believe me when I say the following, but I actually had the amazing opportunity to drive this badass car. And Forza, of course. Fourth concept car on the list is the Saab Aero X. Rest in peace, Saab. First unveiled on February of 2006, this car was quite the innovation, well, for a concept at least. The Swedish jet aircraft heritage being the theme of the Aero X, everything about it wasn't very practical. No doors and just a fighter jet inspired canopy that resulted in no window pillars. The ideas that the Aero X displayed were so far out. The angles, the stance, and the proportions, I mean, even today it looks like a car from the future. Interesting since it was designed by Saab, a company that just like Volvo were known for creating quality cars but with not much character. The canopy that lifts up and forward is definitely that one design element that grabbed lots of attention. Not only did it eliminate the need for doors, but when sitting inside allowed its passengers to have a complete 180-degree panorama view, allowing fewer blind spots than traditional cars. And unlike most modern supercars available now, was actually much easier to get in and out of. The interior, just like the exterior, was inspired by Saab's aviation roots being driver focused. Saab decided to eliminate conventional dials and buttons in favor for touch sensitive controls and 3D images displayed throughout the dashboard. While the exterior and interior design is the main talking point when it comes to the Aero X, one very innovative thing about it that was and still commonly overlooked is the fuel it ran on. The Aero X, assuming it would make it into production, was set to run purely on ethanol. And for those of you guys that are not aware, bioethanol is an alcohol fuel that is created entirely from plant matter and as a result produces far less emissions. The engine equipped would be a turbocharged V6 running on ethanol, producing 650 horsepower. Pair it with very wide tires and 0 to 60 would happen in 4.9 seconds. Honestly, it was pretty obvious that the Aero X would never make it into production for obvious reasons, but you gotta admit, it looks pretty damn cool. Fifth car on the list is the Jaguar CX-75. Revealed as a concept at the 2010 Paris Auto Show, this beautiful car was created to celebrate 75 years of Jaguar. You guys may actually recognize this car from one of James Bond's movies, Spectre. 7 of them were built for the movie, 4 of them being stunt cars, while the ones used in the movie carried supercharged V8 engines. That wasn't the original plan with the concept. Instead, it was planned to come equipped with a hybrid system that can run on electric only for 30 miles and would produce 890 horsepower in total. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, 0 to 100 in less than 6 seconds, while producing less CO2 than a Toyota Prius. I know that's hard to believe, right? Essentially, the CX-75 would have very well joined the forces of the other hybrid hypercars like the McLaren P1, Porsche 918 Spider, and the Ferrari LaFerrari. Honestly, it would have been very nice to see it compete. So what's the reason Jaguar decided not to go forward with such an amazing vehicle? Well, according to them, they planned to make only 250 units, but didn't think they would make an adequate return on the investment it would take to produce the CX-75. And even though the project ended, Jaguar continued to use the innovation from that car on current models such as aerodynamics, carbon fiber composites, and hybrid technology. Luckily for those that have deep enough pockets and looking to buy one, with enough searching, you may be able to find one of the stunt model ones that was used in the James Bond movie. Apparently one popped up for sale in England not too long ago, and while it isn't road legal, it would still be pretty cool to own one. Sixth and final concept car is a Cadillac CL. CL, which is French for sky, is such a perfect name for this luxury cruiser here. This was easily a throwback to Cadillacs in the older days and sort of looks like a modern version of the Cadillac Eldorado. And just like the Jaguar CX-75, the CL was featured in a film, The Entourage. Appearance wise, the one thing that is really hard not to notice is how low it sits and its tremendous length. The wheelbase is 125 inches long, making the overall measurement from front to rear 12 inches longer than the Cadillac CTS and 1 inch longer than the Cadillac Escalade. And best believe the CL utilizes every inch of that room with 4 massive coach-style doors, including the rear ones with rear hinges, 22-inch wheels, and a large convertible top. Oh yeah, did I mention the CL is a convertible sedan? The interior is just as unique as the outside. All 4 passengers get bucket seats, and probably the most quirkiest feature of the CL are the blankets within the headrest for passengers that get cold. If the CL were ever produced, it would come equipped with a hybrid system featuring lithium-ion batteries together with a twin turbocharged V6 engine that produces 425 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Cadillac said that to produce a vehicle such as this one, they would have to charge consumers over $100,000, and they probably wouldn't be successful enough to cover the company's investment. Funny because after the CL was unveiled in 2011, 2011, interest kinda just went away, but then in 2017 it started to surface again, leaving many scratching their heads. So question for you, if you could only choose one of the 6 to make it into production, which one would you go for? Let me know in the comment section below. Me, personally, I'd go with the Jaguar CX-75. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button. It makes all the difference in the world to me, and it helps the video get suggested so others can see it as well. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, that way you don't miss out on my next video. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.